This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good morning, everyone. Glad to have you with us on this Thursday. I'm Jacqueline Matter.
I'm Ray Collins. June 22nd, my mother's birthday up in Buffalo.
Oh, well,
Yep.
Happy birthday to her.
5 o'clock right now, and this is a guy who didn't need a doctor's note. We can tell he's sick. Good morning, John.
Yeah, it kind of hit me like a ton of bricks, I'll tell you what. A lot of people are getting it, I guess, and I sympathize with everyone out there who may be feeling a little under the weather. But, you know, bouncing back, looking pretty good today, I think. We're looking at some improved conditions weather-wise. It'll be a day kind of similar to yesterday, I think. Will be a warm, muggy afternoon, no doubt about that. And the effects on the state of Florida from Cindy will be pretty much non-existent today. Oh, that's not the case, though. Back to the west. Cindy now has made landfall. The center of the storm has moved over land, and it is being classified as having made landfall right around the Louisiana-Texas border, kind of close to Cameron or near Creole, Louisiana, right around in there. And it continues to drift inland, where it will continue to weaken. There are still some watches and warnings up. We'll talk about that. But the banding effect of that storm is kind of located a good distance away from us. We'll have a mix of sun and clouds today. I think the most noticeable thing about our weather today will be just how humid it will be, and just the kind of temperatures that we're going to feel up near the 90 mark. But the feels like temperature will probably be closer to 100. That's how humid it will be. Rain chances in the forecast later on. We'll talk about that in a few. Back to you guys.
Wow, a hot one on the way. Thank you, John. Let's check the roads. First off, in Manatee County, for some reason, a slowdown already this morning on 301 southbound, heading back towards Sarasota. Speaking of which, Sarasota County showing some buildup, you'll see, out east of the interstate off Clark Road, heading toward the interstate. A real slowdown there, maybe some cows on the road. Also, you'll see the Stickney Point Bridge, a bit of a slowdown coming across from the beach toward 41. And South County checking all clear at 5:02 on your Thursday morning.
Topping our news this morning, a state of emergency is now in effect in both Alabama and Louisiana as Tropical Storm Cindy starts to slam parts of the coast.
Parts of Louisiana and Texas already getting as much as 8 inches of rain, and some could see over a foot by the time the storm makes its way through. Cindy is already claiming its first victim after a 10-year-old boy died from an apparent drowning in Alabama. Officials are now warning life-threatening flooding could be on the way. Areas around the Gulf Coast are already seeing heavy rain, wind, and water spouts. In New Orleans, crews are keeping busy building a levee. So far, it's more than a mile long and 4.5 feet tall.
We have learned many lessons from many other storms and unfortunately have paid the ultimate price in some instances for not staying vigilant.
At least 17 million people are under a tropical storm warning this morning. We'll have more on this story at 5:33 on Good Morning Suncoast. Here on the Suncoast, sea turtle nesting season is now in full swing.
That's right. As our Rick Adams tells us, they're seeing more sea turtle activity on Anna Maria Island than ever before, and now it's causing some unexpected issues.
Well, sea turtle nests like this can be seen up and down the entire Suncoast. Here on Anna Maria Island, they are having a little bit of a problem with beachgoers getting in the way of these sea turtles. Officials with the Anna Maria Island Turtle Watch say beachgoers may be doing more harm than good when trying to help mark the spot where sea turtles are placing their eggs. And we're being told there's been a lot of that going on lately, especially late at night. Susie Fox, longtime director of the Anna Maria Island Turtle Watch, says it's something that is done by her or one of her team members each morning around sunrise.
If you are on the beach at night and you see a sea turtle, please stay 100 feet away behind her. And as she moves back toward the water, back away, stay quiet, don't touch, no photographs.
A big part of the problem has been beachgoers walking on the tracks of sea turtles, which covers important data that needs to be collected. Tanya Reska visits Anna Maria Island from Indiana with her husband many times a year. Part of the attraction for them is having these sea turtle nests at the beach.
I can't imagine what thrill somebody would get out of disturbing a nest, you know. And I hope that doesn't happen, and if they do, I hope they get caught.
If you do see anything suspicious going on with these sea turtle nests, you're being encouraged to call police immediately.
The police are out watching now. If they see you around a sea turtle nest trying to mark it or do anything, even put little seaweeds or seashells or rocks or whatever they're putting out there to help us market, you actually could get a fine.
The fine can cost you hundreds of dollars, and you could even get jail time. For Alexis Swint and her 3-year-old daughter, they tell us they love the beaches at Anna Maria Island and the sea turtle nest as well.
Actually, as we walked in, I showed her the nesting area, and I explained to her kind of what was going on and what was in the area, and she was all excited about it.
And if you do have any questions or concerns regarding sea turtle nesting, you could log on to our website at mysuncoast.com. Reporting from Anna Maria Island, I'm Rick Adams, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, 5:05 right now. The trial of a Bradenton man accused of killing his girlfriend's toddler continues today in downtown Manatee County. 37-year-old Richard Williams is charged with second-degree murder in the death of little Quincy Pollard 2 years ago. The jury heard from Pollard's mother and listened to recorded tapes of Williams' account of what happened. Courtney Pollard described the hours just before she left her 17-month-old son in her former boyfriend's care. The state attorney's office says the boy died as a result of blunt force trauma to his head. However, Williams denies ever hitting the boy.
At that point, I didn't know how serious it was, and then I asked if he was awake, and I was told that he was not, and that he was trying to shake him awake.
And then he started, like, not responding, like going limp. So then I was really scared. I didn't really know what to do.
The trial resumes today. If convicted, Williams could face up to life in prison.
In Manatee County, you can now leave your car in bar and restaurant parking lots overnight without the fear of it being towed. A new ordinance passed by the Manatee County Commission aims to keep drunk drivers off the road by encouraging them to leave their cars behind and find a safer way home. Starting on Monday, customers can leave their vehicles on a bar or restaurant's property after 9 p.m. without being towed. However, that car must be picked up by noon the next day. The law does not apply to the cities of Bradenton or Palmetto. However, they can opt in to that ordinance.
With the DUI laws, I mean, nobody can afford one of them, and we don't want people to take the chance of injuring somebody else or themselves on their way home. So I think if people knew that they could stay and not have to worry about their vehicle, they'd have a better time and would be more apt to take that cab.
Bradenton Mayor Wayne Poston says that the city has not yet discussed this issue, but says it does seem like a good idea. The Venice Trolley will not be making a return next year. During a budget meeting yesterday, Venice Council members decided to cut the $70,000 needed for the trolley. In addition to the trolley, $40,000 was cut from Wellfield Park. Meanwhile, some items were added to the budget, including $1 million to a building reserve fund that'll help cover unexpected costs for city building repairs.
We deal almost every day with emergencies because all our buildings are so old and because they haven't been maintained as well as they should have been for a number of years.
The city has 23 buildings that are in need of serious repairs. The oldest and most crucial is Fire Station 1 right next door to City Hall.
A Bradenton man's attempt to prevent a thief from taking his mail wound up in a mail carrier getting injured. Nicholas Dibble says somebody has been taking his mail and at one point took $700 worth of checks from his mailbox. Someone suggested he put a mouse trap in the box to catch the thief. Well, a day after he set the trap, his mail carrier's hand was caught in the trap as she tried to deliver the mail.
She's okay. She was right back to work, but it was just the trauma of doing her job and reaching in the mailbox and getting snapped by a trap.
Okay.
And it was the wrong thing to do, but yet it showed the mail thief how far this could go.
Well, the mail carrier says her hand has just healed from being broken when it was caught in the mousetrap. She decided she won't press charges. Dibble says he will no longer put his outgoing mail in the box. I've never heard of a mousetrap.
Oh my goodness.
Breaking a hand. I mean, sharp cut, but broke her hand.
I know. It's an unfortunate situation, but it is gives you a little bit of a chuckle. Put a mousetrap in there.
It is funny, unless you're the mail carrier.
Right,
yeah.
right.
All right, 5:09 right now. The Gulf Coast experiencing severe rip currents leading to an unusually high number of water rescues.
Now Manatee County's Marine Rescue is urging beachgoers to use caution in the water. Our Kate Flexter has more.
At Coquina Beach, lifeguards scan the shoreline for rip currents. Red flags flying, looking for anyone in distress.
There's a long rip current right beside them.
In the last month alone, they've made 30 rescues, 24 of which were related to riptide. Marine Chief Joe Westerman says those rescues are the most severe.
Most of the time they're tired, they're possibly going under, and we look at the fact that if there's not intervention by a professional, that's a possible death.
That was the case just 2 weeks ago when Joe Teston got caught in a rip current on Anna Maria Island. The 25-year-old later died after lifeguards tried to revive him. On Wednesday, beachgoers could feel those same effects.
It kind of pulled me under and jerked me where I couldn't really come up.
That's why Westerman's looking to add 6 additional lifeguards to the current 14. The county added more lifeguards 2 years ago, but still isn't back to pre-recession staff numbers.
We lost some positions back then, and we're still trying to build those back in.
Westerman's biggest piece of advice: always swim near a lifeguard.
Swimming in front of professionals that deal with the surf every day, know the conditions, fly the proper flags to advise people as far as what the conditions are and how to protect themselves.
Kate Flexter, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
And speaking of water safety, a 64-year-old man is in the hospital after a near drowning in Venice yesterday. The Venice Fire Department and Sarasota County Fire Rescue were called to Bird Bay Drive for reports of a drowning. Witnesses say the man was swimming in a pool when he suddenly went unconscious. A Venice police officer was patrolling the area and was the first one on the scene. He lifted the man out of the pool, and fire rescue personnel then arrived to begin CPR. The man was taken to Venice Hospital for treatment.
The Florida Highway Patrol recovered a stolen car after they found it submerged in a water canal in Punta Gorda. The blue Honda sedan was found near the intersection of US 41 and Tucker's Grade. Troopers say 2 teenage boys were seen near the car. As they approached, the teens ran in the woods. A routine check revealed the car was reported stolen in Illinois. The boys, who are from Illinois, were later found and arrested for grand theft auto.
Drivers looking to get on I-75 southbound at University Parkway will need to find another route tonight. The on-ramp was closed until 5 o'clock this morning, just a few minutes ago, while crews were paving the lanes. It'll be the same situation tonight, where drivers will need to take a different route between 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. due to more construction working on the Diverging Diamond project. That project is expected to be complete by the fall. And if you're looking to travel to Canada, you'll soon have more options for services right here on the Suncoast. Elite Airways is announcing new flights between Sarasota Bradenton International Airport and Nova Scotia, with one stop in Portland, Maine. The flights will run on Sundays and Thursdays, and the service begins July 2nd.
And a local high school principal being honored by the state in a big way. Dr. Rachel Shelley of Booker High School has been named Principal of the Year by the Florida Department of Education. She was one of the 3 finalists for the award. She won a cash prize of $5,000 as well as a $1,000 prize to go to Booker High School. She was nominated by the Sarasota County School Superintendent. Her colleagues praised her for her dedication to helping students succeed and for her relationship-based leadership as well. That's a huge honor for her.
I know.
Wow, good for her. There's our online address. You can get us at mysuncoast.com or also facebook.com/mysuncoast.com.abc7. Easy enough, right?
Yeah. Well, you can always put in the search ABC7 and you can usually find it. So it's pretty easy to find us, get a hold of us, let us see some of those pictures, especially weather pictures. We love to see those because eyes and ears out there, and we can't really see them here in the studio. So
absolutely right. There'll be some good thunderstorms around this afternoon as well, so I know we have some folks out there that like to take lightning shots, and I always enjoy those.
Me too.
Yeah, those are really sharp. We have some changing weather as we head into the next couple days, though. We'll talk about that in a second.
All right, thanks, John. Still ahead, our Linda Carson takes us behind the scenes of a brand new live show opening this weekend right here on the Suncoast.
And later in the hour, an apparent terror incident at a small Midwest airport, the latest at 5:33.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar, A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Being the caregiver for my husband is truly a blessing, but sometimes it's easy to lose a part of myself. To be my best, for him and for me, it's important to have time to be able to recharge. When I called Tidewell Hospice, they gave me the chance to do just that. They helped me find the time to care for myself, all the while with the peace of mind of knowing my husband is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
If you've ever had a bad night's sleep, call and price the new Craftmatic Legacy. It has so much more than other adjustables and still costs up to 50% less. Featuring a rising adjustable pillow rest to support your head, neck, and shoulders, bedside power plugs, under bed night lights, and more. So call and price one today for less, up to 50% less than Tempur-Pedic, Sleep Number, and other adjustables.
You get so much more and it still costs less. You've got to see how little they cost.
Call 1-800-774-8103. That's 1-800-774-8103. Call now.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
So as we look at the current air temperature, we'll notice a high dew point value once again this morning coming in at 73. Air temperature warm as well, coming in at 77, excuse me, and an east-southeast wind at about 10. We'll have a mix of, a mix of clear skies and a little bit of cloud cover out there this morning. 76 degrees Wauchula, 76 in Arcadia, Mayaca, Parrish, Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch. A little bit further to the south, a little bit warmer with 78 degrees in Venice and Inglewood, 77 in Northport. We do have a 76 in Punta Gorda and a 78 degrees out at Longboat Key as well. Pretty quiet conditions across the Suncoast. Don't really see much of a problem with your morning commute. That should be rain-free. The trip home tonight, though, might be a little bit on the damp side. I think showers and thunderstorms will be around again this afternoon and could be sort of widespread, I think, especially inland along the sea breeze front in the East Coast sea breeze collision zones. Now, back to the west. Obviously, it's a different story. Our area, quiet. Back to the west, not so much. Showers and thunderstorms continue to plague a large portion of the northern Gulf Coast. They've had some rainfalls there up to 10 inches, and we still have in this red watch box an area of possible tornado development, so a tornado watch box has been issued. And then in areas of green, that's where flash flooding is still a problem. The center of the storm now has moved over land, and so it is classified as having made landfall. Cindy, in the process now of decaying. In fact, it has been over about the last 24 hours. Wind shears have started to affect this storm, and now the wind speeds have downed significantly. Locally, the effect on us will be pretty much non-existent. Now, Cindy has a sustained wind speed right now of about 40 miles an hour, and it continues to move north at about 12. That 12-mile-an-hour forward motion is good. We like a nice, fast motion with this storm, as it will reduce the total amount of rainfall that it could produce. Some storms that lift north and just stall out could produce as much as 2, even 3 feet of rainfall, tropical storms. And tropical storms, one of their main attributes is the amount of rainfall that they can produce. But this one, luckily, will be moving at a fairly good clip. Not to minimize the potential of some flooding rainfall. Could get a foot of rain under some of these locations, especially the further north you go in higher elevations. That's where the rainfall will probably be most pronounced, as you get not only the rain caused by the activity of a tropical storm, but also the lift produced by some of the more mountainous regions. Now, for us, I don't think we'll see anything like these maybe 10-inch rainfalls that they'll see in parts of Alabama, Georgia, on up in through Tennessee and Kentucky. And the good news is in some of those areas, they have had a little bit of a drought situation, so they could use the extra rainfall. For us, our rainfall will actually be reduced as some drier air starts to move in. Now, today will be a humid day. There's plenty of moisture around, and we do have good rain chances. But over the course of the next day or two, we'll see those rain chances drop just a little bit, and consequently, I think our temperatures will be boosted just a degree or two as well. So look for a pretty nice weekend, but kind of humid. And then as we head into next week, I think we'll be right back to that more typical summer afternoon shower and thunderstorm kind of weather pattern that we are so used to at this time of year. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, John. Glad to have you back with us on this Thursday. Taking a look at Suncoast traffic, looks like 301 heading northbound, seeing an increase in traffic as you cross by State Road 70. As we head into Sarasota County, a lot of buildup looks like on Fruitvale Road and Clark B Ridge Road, and also 41 as you're heading southbound. But as we head into South County, pretty quiet throughout that area. Good news, no accident at 5:21 on your Thursday morning.
When the weather heats up, events usually slow down around the Suncoast.
But opening this weekend, a brand new show at West Coast Black Theater. Our Linda Carson has more in the spotlight.
Once again, the West Coast Black Theater Troupe brings us an original production by Nate Jacobs. Broadway in Black uses songs from 12 to 15 Broadway shows to chronicle the journey of African Americans on the Great White Way.
For many years, African Americans were not allowed on this platform, and if they were, they had to actually wear blackface. And Burt Williams was one of the initial actors who demanded to go on stage without blackface, and he kind of was a barrier breaker.
After that, the doors to Broadway began to open for other African Americans who had had very little exposure until then.
A lot of our earlier work in the late 1800s, early 1900s were done on the Chitlin circuit, small venues in our neighborhoods, or they had their own set tours that they would actually travel the nation, but it was nowhere near the Great White Way.
But once allowed on Broadway, audiences loved them. Nate has chosen a large and brilliant cast to tell the story. He found Joanna Ford performing on a cruise ship.
I live in New York now. I am a singer-performer for the USO show troupe, and I've worked with Harlem Opera. I've studied abroad in Germany, graduate of University of Michigan, and taught at Morgan State University for a little while.
She loves the songs in the show and the message they convey. For instance,
Black and Blue, which talks about African Americans trying to make their way in the world, but because of their race being discriminated and not being able to reach, just always getting that glass ceiling, never being able to go above.
We are just celebrating the homage and giving homage to these incredible artists who have changed the face of America.
And performer Brian Boyd says this music that changed the face of America may also change you.
This is going to make you feel. Art is supposed to make you feel that way, whether it's happy, if it gives you the chills, if it makes you sing along with the songs, it's going to make you feel. But nonetheless, you're going to leave with a feeling knowing that you've got something from this show that you didn't have before when you walked in.
Broadway in Black takes over the stage here at the West Coast Black Theater with an official opening on Saturday night, and it runs through July 23rd. If you want to have a good time this summer, this is the place to do it. Linda Carson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
It is 5:24 now, still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast. We'll tell you why sumo wrestling robots are the new tech fad in Japan. And the video is wild.
Interesting. Well, coming up at 5:30, increased security across Europe after a failed bombing attempt in Belgium. Stay with us. We'll have those stories and more when we come back.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
Hi, I'm Joan London with A Place for Mom. Over the years, we've helped thousands of families find senior care, and today's senior living communities have never been better, with amazing amenities like movie theaters, exercise rooms and swimming pools, public cafes, bars and bistros, even pet care services. And nobody understands your options like the advisors at A Place for Mom. These are local expert advisors that will partner with you to find the perfect place and determine the right level of care, whether that's just a helping hand or full-time memory care. Best of all, it's a free service. Call today. A Place for Mom. You know your family, we know senior living. Together, we'll make the right choice.
Call A Place for Mom right now to get our free ebook on financing senior care, as well as a free referral for senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-290-0352. That's 1-800-290-0352.
The kitchen is where life happens. Minnesota Flooring now offers a wide variety of beautiful quality craft-made cabinetry to make sure the heart of your home reflects your style. Visit us today.
I'm Alan Cohn. An 8% drop in crime. Northport police will show us what techniques are working to make the Suncoast safer.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Dark out there.
It is. Oh, there we go. The lights came on across the city. There we go.
I'm glad I said something.
It was right on cue, too.
Yes. Good morning. 5:26 on your Thursday morning. Pretty sharp there.
Definitely. Starting this fall, students at the University of Michigan will have access to a completely independent shuttle bus.
And a new partnership between Nike and Amazon could shake up the sports retail world. ABC's Candace Gibson and Diane Macedo have the details.
In today's Tech Bites, if you can't beat them, join them.
Nike is now the latest brand to team up with Amazon. After years of worrying about undermining its brand, the company now reportedly has agreed to sell at least some of its products on Amazon as foot traffic at brick-and-mortar stores increasingly moves online.
So this shuttle will be making its way around parts of the University of Michigan's campus this fall. 15 passengers can ride at a time.
But there's no driver. Several sensors keep the shuttle on the road and away from obstacles.
Kind of cool. So a high-tech game in Japan might just be the wildest sport you've never seen.
Check it out. So it's basically robot sumo wrestling, only way faster than actual sumo wrestlers. And the video's now going viral after being posted online.
Those are your Tech Bites.
Great day.
Tech Bites, brought to you by Chantix.
I'm Ryan, and I quit smoking with Chantix. I tried to quit cold turkey. I tried to quit with patch. That didn't work.
Along with support, Chantix Varenicline is proven to help people quit smoking.
For me, Chantix worked. It reduced my urge to smoke.
Compared to the nicotine patch, Chantix helps significantly more people quit smoking. When you try to quit smoking, with or without Chantix, you may have nicotine withdrawal symptoms. Some people had changes in behavior or thinking, aggression, hostility, agitation, depressed mood, or suicidal thoughts or actions with Chantix. Serious side effects may include seizures, new or worse heart or blood vessel problems, sleepwalking, or allergic and skin reactions, which can be life-threatening. Stop Chantix and get help right away if you have any of these. Tell your healthcare provider if you've had depression or other mental health problems. Decrease alcohol use while taking Chantix. Use caution when driving or operating machinery. The most common side effect is nausea.
I'm so proud to be a non-smoker.
Ask your doctor if Chantix is right for you. Many insurance plans cover Chantix for a low or $0 copay.
Rose takes her volunteering for Tidewell Hospice very seriously. But she knows how to have fun, too. And that's what she brings when we're invited to visit patients as part of Tidewell's pet therapy program. People love to see her. She really brightens their day. She makes people smile. And in end-of-life care, a smile can be a wonderful gift. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential. There's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-747-0618. 800-747-0618.
If you've ever had a bad night's sleep, call and price the new Craftmatic Legacy. It has so much more than other adjustables and still costs up to 50% less, featuring a rising adjustable pillow rest to support your head, neck, and shoulders, bedside power plugs, under bed night lights, and more. So call and price one today for less, up to 50% less than Tempur-Pedic, Sleep Number, and other adjustables.
You get so much more and it still costs less. You've got to see how little they cost.
Call 1-800-774-8103. That's 1-800-774-8103. Call now.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny had been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
Start your day with a new Good Morning Suncoast team. Weekdays starting at 5 a.m. on ABC 7. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
This half hour on Good Morning Suncoast, Tropical Storm Cindy has made landfall near the Texas-Louisiana border. Now residents are bracing for flooding rain.
Plus, Senate Republicans releasing a new health care bill today. We'll take a look at what's expected in the new reform.
And even though the prosecution and defense objected, the judge in the Bill Cosby trial has released the jurors named to the public. We'll tell you why next on Good Morning Suncoast.
Live from the ABC 7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
And good morning. We're at 5:32 on Thursday, June 22nd. I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Jacqueline Matter. Let's check in with meteorologist John Scalzi, who joins us in a few days. He was not here. He's been sick. How are you feeling today?
Yeah, fair to middling. Fair to middling.
More like Midland there, I think.
Yeah. Doing much better. Thank you very much for asking.
Well, we're glad to have you with us.
It's always good to be here. We're looking at some improving weather, I think, over the Suncoast over the next several days. We'll see high pressure beginning to build in, some drier air aloft, and that'll reduce our rainfall chances. But certainly, excuse me, a very humid day shaping up for us with feels like temperatures probably pretty close to the 100 mark. As far as the rainfall goes, boy, it's mostly to the north of us, and it is heavy in places. Cindy, having made landfall, now taking its rainfall with it into parts of the deep south. Across our region, fair weather skies will lead to afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Complete forecast coming up in a few.
All right, John, talk to you soon. No doctor's note required. You're fine. There's the roads right now in Manatee County, 301 northbound, a bit of a slowdown heading toward Bradenton. Some activity on Clark Road on both ends of your screen there. First, let's look at that. For no apparent reason, the Stickney Point Bridge at South Siesta Key showing lots of traffic going up and turning right toward 41. Also, you'll see east of the interstate up there on Clark Road there toward the top of your screen now. Congestion heading toward Sarasota. Farther south, nothing to speak of at 5:34 on your Thursday morning.
Our top story this morning continues to be Tropical Storm Cindy. Hurricane season started less than a month ago, but 2017 has already seen 3 named storms.
Yeah, Cindy is barreling toward the U.S., already making landfall in some areas this morning, and its presence is being felt in a number of states. Reed Binion has the latest.
It was pretty rough. We had quite a bit of lightning and thunder close by, bigger waves than this.
Severe weather from Texas to Florida. Tropical storm Cindy could bring up to a foot of rain to some spots over the next 24 hours. Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards declared a state of emergency Wednesday.
We obviously continue to take this storm very seriously, and we urge everyone in Louisiana to do the same.
In New Orleans, Mayor Mitch Landrieu asked residents to stay alert.
Rain could come over a period of time, but if it all comes at one time, we expect to have localized flooding.
Some 17 million people along the Gulf Coast are under a tropical storm warning, and forecasters say the coast could see winds reach 50 miles per hour. The storm has already claimed at least one victim. On Wednesday, a 10-year-old boy was fatally struck by a log that had been carried by a wave. Cindy's wrath will reach farther than the Gulf Coast. The National Weather Service says heavy rains and flooding could reach all the way up to the Ohio Valley. The Tropical Meteorology Project from Colorado State University predicts there will be 11 named storms and 4 hurricanes this season, which ends in November. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
In other national news, the FBI is investigating what it's calling a terror attack in Flint, Michigan. A man stabbed a police lieutenant in the neck in front of dozens of passengers at the airport yesterday, causing the airport to evacuate and shut down.
I went upstairs and I saw a cop and he was down and there was a whole bunch of blood everywhere.
Investigators say the lone attacker was heard yelling before and during the stabbing, saying things like, "We're all going to die," and "God is great" in Arabic. Lieutenant Jeff Neville was taken to the hospital in critical condition but is expected to survive. The suspect has been arrested and is cooperating with police.
In the meantime, Belgium tightening security to counter fears that lone attackers could strike anywhere and at any time. The security concerns come one day after a failed bombing attempt at the Brussels Central train station. The attacker was killed by soldiers after he charged at them shouting, "God is great" in Arabic. He tried to set off a powerful nail bomb that could have led to fatalities. The attacker has been identified as a 36-year-old Moroccan national. Belgium's federal prosecutor's office says the man sympathized with the Islamic State group, or ISIS, and police say they found chemicals and material that can be used to make explosives in the man's home. The FBI is now revealing more information about the shooting during practice for the annual congressional baseball game last week. The FBI says the shooting appears to have been a crime of opportunity for a man who simply hated Republicans. This man, 66-year-old James Hodgkinson, was living in his van next to the field for weeks when he spotted lawmakers practicing. The FBI says he fired 60 shots, but they're not sure who was the intended target exactly. While GOP Majority Whip Steve Scalise was critically injured, his recovery status has improved to fair. Capitol Police officers David Bailey and Crystal Griner were also injured. They killed Hodgkinson in a gunfight.
Happening today, Senate Republicans are expected to release a new health care bill. Sources say the proposal would cut and revamp Medicaid and end penalties on people not buying coverage. The Senate plan would also drop the House bill's waivers, allowing states to let insurers boost premiums on some people with pre-existing conditions. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell plans to release the measure this morning and hopes to push it through the Senate next week. And the Metropolitan Police Department in Washington, D.C. is being sued for how officers responded to protests on Inauguration Day. The lawsuit filed yesterday says police violated the rights of 4 people by using pepper spray and flashbang grenades without warning or justification. The lawsuit claims police also held demonstrators without food, water, or access to toilets. More than 200 people were charged with rioting after protesters broke windows and set fires on Inauguration Day. The Metropolitan Police Department says they will investigate any allegations of misconduct.
In Wisconsin, reaction continues to come in after the former Milwaukee police officer Dominique Hagan Brown was found not guilty of first-degree reckless homicide yesterday.
Hagan Brown fatally shot Sylville Smith during an August 2016 foot chase, and some still believe he used excessive force. A.J. Battenpour has the details.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Dominique Hagan Brown, not guilty.
In a courtroom filled with emotions Wednesday, relief for Dominique Hagan Brown, the former Milwaukee police officer standing trial for the fatal shooting of Sylville Smith.
Obviously, he's very pleased. He
believed all along that he was justified in what he did. It wasn't a situation that he asked to be put in.
Hagen Brown had been charged with first-degree reckless homicide. Prosecutors argued Hagen Brown had no reason to shoot Smith a second time because by then he was on the ground and the gun he once had was gone.
In this unique set of circumstances, you had a legitimate use of force on the first encounter when the officer reasonably thought that he was presented with a threat of death or great bodily harm. Short time later, those facts and those circumstances changed.
The defense argued those facts changed in just 1.69 seconds, not enough time for the officer to know Smith was no longer a threat.
We're talking about 12 seconds from the time that he left the vehicle through the second shot. And there was a lot of decision-making going on, rapidly evolving events, split-second decision-making.
District Attorney John Chisholm says his decision to charge the officer was in no way political.
If you don't charge, there are going to be a large number of people that are unhappy with that decision. If you do charge, there's going to be a segment of people that are unhappy.
Hagen Brown's attorneys say they're mindful of the violent protests that stemmed from Smith's death, adding, because of that, this verdict is nothing to celebrate.
I think we must be mindful that a young man lost his life, and that has impacted the community enormously.
The names of the jurors who deadlocked in the Bill Cosby sexual assault case have been released. The judge ruled the names should be released after urging from the media, but said the jurors could not discuss what other jurors said during deliberations. Both prosecutors and defense attorneys wanted to keep the jurors' identities a secret, saying their disclosure would make it more difficult to pick an impartial panel for the next trial. A mistrial was declared on Saturday after the jury deliberated for 52 hours without a verdict. Prosecutors plan to try Cosby again on charges that he drugged and molested a woman back in 2004, charges that Cosby denies.
In the Sunshine State, passengers traveling in and out of Orlando International Airport are no longer allowed to carry medical marijuana. Even if they have a prescription, travelers will have to do without. Not everyone is happy about the change and say it'll make life harder for patients. The airport is required to follow federal law, and by that law, marijuana is still considered a narcotic. Homeowners whose healthy citrus trees were torn down by the state are now taking Governor Rick Scott to court. The state legislature had agreed to pay homeowners in both Broward and Lee counties more than $37 million after their citrus trees were torn down in a failed attempt to eradicate citrus canker. Homeowners argue Scott lacked legal authority to veto the money because the court had already ruled the state violated the private property rights of homeowners. Recently, federal officials say this crop-killing disease has spread and has been found in Alabama.
Environmentalists say they are optimistic about the future of solar energy in Florida. This after Governor Scott signed a measure aimed at boosting the use of sun power in the state. The new law, combined with a renewable energy bill, means businesses will no longer see their tax bills go up when they put solar panels on their buildings.
It's a pretty big deal if you can get half of the electricity market to shift towards solar. I think, this is a great first step to make sure that Florida greens our economy, more green jobs, more solar jobs.
The tax break would be in place for 20 years and is an extension of a break already provided to residential properties. In addition to tax breaks, environmentalists hope the measure will decrease the overall cost of solar by adding more competition among solar firms. Competition is good in the private sector.
Yeah, and technology has advanced quickly too on the solar panels, so they're now about a third the price they were 5-6 years ago.
Haven't needed solar panels recently here, John.
I know. I know. Got a little sunshine yesterday. We'll see more today, and maybe a few thunderstorms as well. We'll talk about that in a second.
All right. Still ahead, sugar. It's in about just everything we eat, but what can you do to avoid getting hooked?
We'll give you some helpful tips to fight sugar addiction up next in Health Smart.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee counties since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories, custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sunny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah, yeah.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
At Tidewell Hospice, we know it's never too late to say thank you to our military veterans. The Tidewell Honors Veterans Program has provided care to more than 13,000 military families since 2008. Tidewell volunteers help honor veterans through special pinning ceremonies that demonstrate our appreciation for the freedom our veterans fought to defend. If you know a veteran who can benefit from end-of-life care, call or visit tidewell.org today. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
ABC 7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
Oh, so hot and humid outside already at this hour with 77 degrees and a dew point of 73. Southeasterly wind is part of the culprit for that high dew point, and it will continue to pump moisture in today, making it feel very sticky and humid throughout the afternoon. Current temperatures across the region are fairly uniform, coming in the upper 70s most everywhere. Nothing in the way of any rainfall for us currently, but as we head into the afternoon, I think we'll start to see that East Coast sea breeze move over into our area and trigger off more showers and thunderstorms, especially along the I-75 corridor. But some of those storms will gradually drift toward the coastline as well. As far as current conditions go, morning commute should be a-okay weather-wise. Back to the west, bands of showers and thunderstorms continue to feed around the circulation of Cindy, which has now made it onshore. It is in the process of falling apart. It actually lessened in intensity as it got closer to the coastline due to some shearing and some drier air trying to filter in or wrapping into the system. So the good news is that as we'll watch over the course of the next 24 hours, it will continue to decrease in intensity, so that's good news. But also, its forward speed is relatively fast, so hopefully it will not produce a lot of widespread flooding, though the potential is there. Potential is there for this to produce perhaps as much as 10 inches of rainfall as it moves off to the north and to the east, as indicated here on the rainfall futurecast. For us, though, just sort of standard thunderstorm activity, so nothing quite like this across the state of Florida for sure. In fact, drier air beginning to filter in the wake of a departing Cindy will allow us to reduce our rainfall chances over the next several days and allow this high pressure ridge to kind of build in. The Cindy transforms into a low-pressure area and eventually gets absorbed by that frontal boundary as it drifts eastward. So we get basically no effect from that storm. humid afternoon, and then just some late day showers and thunderstorms. A pretty good bet today, but a less chance of them tomorrow, and Saturday as well should be a fairly dry day. A little bit warmer, though, as we head into tomorrow. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, John. Taking a look at traffic this morning, build up on 301 heading southbound, also State Road 70 in between I-75 and 301. As we head into Sarasota County, looks like some congestion on 41 heading southbound as you head past Bee Ridge Road and Clark Road. As we head into South County, pretty quiet throughout that area. Not a whole lot going on across the Suncoast. 5:50 on your Thursday morning. In this hour's Health Smart, sugar, it's that sneaky sweet stuff that seems to make everything taste better.
Yeah, sadly it does. It could be making us sick, though, but there are ways to kick that sweet addiction. Take notes. Kim Hutcherson has more in today's Health Minute.
Could sugar be making us overweight and prematurely old? According to some experts, it is. Sugar not only helps pack on the pounds, it's a leading cause of heart disease. At least part of the reason is that people can't stop consuming it. 10% of the U.S. population are true sugar addicts. Their brains react to sugar the way an addict's brain reacts to drugs. While sugar in moderation isn't bad for you, it can be hard to have self-control when it comes to sweets. One way to rein in your sugar intake is by going cold turkey for 3 days. Eliminate all sugar, including the natural kinds found in fruit and starchy vegetables. Experts also say you should avoid dairy, grains, and alcohol. During this time, you should basically be eating lean protein, vegetables, and healthy fats only. This will recalibrate your palate, allowing you to taste the natural sweetness in foods. After that, you can have small amounts of fruit and dairy. Slowly add back in starches like pasta and treats like red wine or dark chocolate over the next 4 weeks. This could help you have some control over how much sugar you consume. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
I have an absolute sweet tooth, so my wife bought some Hershey Kisses. Just have one a day. That didn't work.
But then you end up eating like a handful, and then it's the bag, and next thing you know, you've got a bunch of sugar.
Yeah, the bag lasted about 2 days.
Exactly. Sounds about right.
5:51, still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast. The east bracing for wet weather, but out west, the heat wave continues.
We'll tell you what one aquarium is doing to help keep tanks from getting too hot after this.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
If you've ever had a bad night's sleep, call and price the new Craftmatic Legacy. It has so much more than other adjustables and still costs up to 50% less. Featuring a rising adjustable pillow rest to support your head, neck, and shoulders, bedside power plugs, under-bed night lights, and more. So call and price one today for less, up to 50% less than Tempur-Pedic, Sleep Number, and other adjustables.
You get so much more and it still costs less. You gotta see how little they cost.
Call 1-800-774-8103. That's 1-800-774-8103. Call now.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-738-9812. 800-738-9812.
Are you paying too much for your cable or satellite TV? The U.S. government passed a bill mandating free over-the-air digital transmission of all broadcast network television channels. That means with the new TV Freeway digital antenna, you can get free HD programming from your favorite broadcast networks 24/7 without a bill. You just plug it into the back of your TV and start watching all of your favorite broadcast programs for free. There are no contracts to sign, no hidden fees, and no monthly fees. Just free HD broadcast TV. Take it with you anywhere. Call or go online now to get your TV Freeway stick for the incredibly low price of only $14.99. But wait, call or click now and you can get a second TV freeway stick for a second TV. Just pay a separate fee, but you have to order right now.
Call 1-800-809-5196 to get your TV Freeway. Call now or go to tvfreeway.com. So call 1-800-809-5196. This offer's not in any store. Call now.
From meeting curious lemurs to feeding big cats and hosing down rhinos, there's never a dull moment. And sometimes these amazing animals chime in.
Watch Animal Outtakes every week on ABC 7.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com. AND services.com.
Welcome back, 5:55. Let's take a look at some of the top stories here on the Suncoast.
Tropical storm Cindy has made landfall near the Texas-Louisiana border. Though the storm is now breaking apart, residents there are bracing for a lot of rain and possible floods.
And a 64-year-old man is in the hospital after a near drowning in Venice yesterday. Authorities were called to Bird Bay Drive for reports of a drowning. Witnesses say the man was swimming in a pool when he went unconscious. He was taken to Venice Hospital for treatment.
And a Bradenton man wanted to catch the thief stealing checks in his mailbox, so he put a mouse trap in there. The trap caught the mail carrier. She was injured. The thief is still on the loose.
Finally this hour, it's warm here on the Suncoast, but it's extremely hot in Arizona right now, where temperatures are in the 120s in Phoenix yesterday. So extra precautions are being taken to make sure mammals don't get too hot, such as dolphins at Dolphinaris, Arizona. Their tank's life support system actually has coolers in it to keep the temperature at a constant 75. So that is some great news to keep those dolphins nice and cool.
You don't think about that, dolphins being too hot.
Man, can you even imagine 120 degrees?
No. We'll have John's local forecast next. Stay with us.